So Richard III, the last of the White Roses, died on the battlefield and ended the War of the Roses. The Tudors, probably the most corrupt, evil people on the face of the earth, at least at that time, if not for all time. They painted him in the worst light they possibly could. Thomas More, who's a saint in the Catholic Church, not for the reasons of slandering Richard, but also Shakespeare made him out to be an evil guy who killed his nephews and drowned his brother in a vat of wine and killed his wife. But they all had one thing in common that said all of his detractors, all the people that hated him, said he was valiant on the battlefield, very brave, and fought to the bitter end. And his skeletal remains, they ID'd him down to 99.999998% that's positively him. They did it through mitochondrial DNA. Also, his bones were unmistakable. He had severe scoliosis in his spine. So the idea of a hunchback is true. You might ask, how could somebody be such a great fighter, great warrior, and have that severe amount of scoliosis? They actually found somebody with almost the exact same spine as Richard III, and they trained him to see if he actually could put up a fight. The skeletal remains showed that Richard fought not just post-mortem injuries, but injuries during battle, because there's certain injuries that, post-mortem, stabbing at the groin, slashing up the face, but these were, they know the injuries that were sustained in battle. The piece of skull that was sliced off his head that probably was only kept on by hair and sinew, and I don't know is there sinew in the head, in the top of the head, but the interstitial tissue of the skull, and broken leg, broken arm bones by sword, and he fought to the bitter end. Richard III, the last of the House of York, and I think it was the Yorks versus the Lancastrians. Historical reader, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But he was of the White Rose, and the Lancastrians were the Red Roses. The Lancastrians produced the Tudors, who everybody remembers Bloody Mary, although she just wanted to bring back Catholicism, whereas Henry VIII was an evil son of a bitch, and that's why Thomas More is a saint, because he wanted reform in the church, but when Henry put his fat, vile, evil, wicked carcass upon the throne of Christ and started claiming that he was the head of the church, head of God's church on earth, Thomas More said, that's it, that's gone too far, and was executed for it. But his daughter, his half-daughter, Elizabeth, the quote-unquote virgin queen, she was no virgin, killed more people than Henry VIII or Mary, quote-unquote Bloody Mary, ever did. Queen Elizabeth was they always portray her as this elegant, great woman. I should do a video all by. It's lonesome about her. Historical reader, if you're watching this, I'd love to see your take on Elizabeth I, as well as Mary, and then also about how Elizabeth I murdered Mary, Queen of Scots. And the gunpowder plot with Guy Fawkes. The reason they were going to blow up Parliament is they wanted religious freedom.